Hello and welcome back to Ace Academy. Maya's waiting for us outside, leaning against the door.
Hey guys! Congratulations on the win!
I glance at Maya, barely registering her presence. I'm too wrapped up in what happened in the pre-combat room. My smile falters when no one answers.
Wow, with gloomy faces like that, I'd think you were the ones that lost. Shut up, May!
May flinches from the ferocity of Kaori's voice.
I was just kidding, Kaori. This is all your fault!
No, it's yours. Now calm the hell down. May is stunned into
You
silence.
seriously need to calm down. May didn't do anything.
You're being too harsh, Kaori.
Kaori's eyes flash.
You guys are taking her side? I thought you were my teammates!
You're not taking anyone's side, but since the match, you've been acting like a complete...
Sho!
The word you're looking for is bitch. Sho catches himself and falls silent. Kaori looks at
A
him.
complete what?
Bitch.
nothing.
She pauses. When she finally speaks, her voice cracks.
I see. That's how you really feel.
Sho's look softens.
No, I didn't mean that.
Kaori turns to face May.
You.
She lowers her head.
You always turn my friends against me.
Oh, for God's sake. She spins on her heel and walks away, and when she thinks she's out of eyesight, she starts running.
Kaori!
Kaori disappears. Sho's about to rush after her when May blocks his path.
I have to go apologize. I didn't mean what I said.
Oh, you did? May sighs.
You need to give her space right now, or you'll just make it worse.
Sho looks torn, but doesn't try to follow Kaori.
I don't think I've ever seen her too upset to yell.
Maya looks down worriedly at her feet.
I was too mean to her earlier. I'm sorry.
No, she deserved it.
You guys shouldn't blame yourselves. Kaori just needs time to cool off.
She's got to get her anger in check or it's gonna get her killed. You sound like you speak from experience. May sighs and nods. What's up with her saying you always turn my friends against me?
It's a long story. Something that happened back in middle school.
Something to do with Ryuta? You two go way back.
Yeah, we do.
May's pocket vibrates. She pulls out her phone and reviews the message.
My team is wondering where I am. Don't worry too much about Kaori. She'll be okay. I'll talk to her when she's calmed down.
We nod and watch May head out. I don't feel any less guilty.
I shouldn't have acted that way earlier.
No, it was my stupid comment. I never should have said something like that.
I guess they still feel guilty too. Give her some space. Give her time to cool down. Because I'm one of those people too. When I get really, really pissed off, I tend to almost immediately snap straight into tears. Yeah, it's stupidly easy to make me cry. I inherited my emotions from my mother, and they're annoying. Give her some space. Listen, we should listen to May. She's known Kaori the longest. Sounds like she's had to deal with this situation before. We should give Kaori some time. Sho and Mayu glance at each other and then nod.
I'm still going to apologize.
Me too.
We can do that tomorrow, as a team.
Okay.
An uncomfortable silence settles in. Although we haven't lost a match yet, I doubt it would make us feel much worse than we do right now. There's no point in hanging around here feeling guilty. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
I wave and head to my bike. The entire ride home, I run through the events leading up to Kaori's departure. Come up with multiple ways we could have handled the situation. I guess hindsight's always 20/20. The house is quiet when I arrive home. I'm a little relieved as I'm exhausted, so I head straight up to bed and fall fast asleep. I turn off my alarm and stretch and let out a groan. Yesterday was a really intense day and I'm feeling it now. At least it's Friday. With a regretful sigh, I roll out of bed and prepare for my classes. I grab a quick breakfast and drive to school. Yuna's waiting for me in class and smiles broadly when I sit down next to her. Hi, Yuna.
Hey! Sorry we haven't had a chance to catch up. How did your meeting go with Yuri?
It wasn't as bad as I anticipated, even though he asked a lot of questions.
About Eagle?
No, he was more interested in my team back at CINY. She blinks in genuine surprise.
Oh, I was under the impression he was curious about Eagle.
That's okay, I don't mind. Clearly he did his homework about how teams run in the States, because he didn't really seem surprised by anything I shared. Yuna nods.
There's a reason why he's the youngest account manager to manage a team at Dashu.
Have you talked with him yet?
Yes. He said that you show a lot of promise, and he's confident that if the rest of your teammates are as determined as you are, then you'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, we were at 11, then we beat the team that was at number 9, unless they'd shifted in the places, so I'm assuming we've moved into the top 10 now, so, haha, take that, dicks. That's it? She furrows her brow in concern.
Yeah. Should he have said anything else?
I guess he was serious when he said I should talk to her about her brother. Maybe now isn't the right time to bring it up in conversation. But it's time I asked. We had a good conversation, but... Look, there was one thing he said that stood out.
What is it?
I hesitate, trying to think of the most delicate way to put this. I know that you didn't find Dashu through the SBA. She opens her mouth to speak, but I shake my head. And I know how difficult it must have been for you to reach out to them. She gazes at her lap. I'm grateful that you did, but why didn't you tell me?
I'm sorry.
The team knows what happened to your brother, don't they? She nods, slowly.
Everyone does. His accident was during a match at school.
You should have told me. We could have kept searching for a sponsor.
No, Dashu was great to my brother. I knew they would be good for you too.
But a constant reminder of what happened to him. She finally meets my
I'm
eyes.
sorry I didn't tell you, but I'll be fine. Anyway, we should talk about this later. The professor is here.
I glance at the front of the room and see the professor setting up. Okay. The professor enters the room and gets settled.
Good morning, everyone. Please open your textbooks to page 81. Your assignments are on the web link. Have a great day.
Yuna and I pack up our things and walk out of class together. Do you have another class to go to?
No, but I have to meet my physiotherapy professor. I'm a TA for his class.
Didn't know you were a TA?
Yep, I don't usually help out in his Friday classes, but he's holding exams today, so I need to be there. Do you have any other classes?
No. Kinda hungry. I think I'll go grab lunch in the pilot's lounge. Her face lights up.
Oh, you're lucky. They're supposed to have really good food.
I grin. They do. And they even have burgers. Yuna's eyes grow wide.
Are they better than the ones we had?
Nothing's better than that one we had. No. They aren't better, but they aren't bad either. Yuna pouts.
Aw, I wish I could try them.
Maybe I'll smuggle one out for you.
Really?
I'm taken aback by her hopeful gaze. I guess if they have them, I will. They don't have them every day. She beams.
That would be great.
Yuna checks the time.
Oops, I'm going to be late. I'll see you later.
Bye. I wave as she dashes off. And alone, I make my way to the pilot's lounge. I check out the menu on display in the lounge. Usual Japanese fare that I can find in the dining hall too. Today's special is Napolitan spaghetti, popularly known as ketchup spaghetti. The bartender approaches me and waits expectantly. Choose something safe. I take another look at their regular menu. I think I'll just order a bento. I'll have a bento. The bartender nods. He brings me my order and I take it to an empty table. As soon as I sit down, someone slides into the seat across from me. I'm ready to apologise and ask if the seat's taken when I take a good look at the girl smiling at me. May?
Is this seat taken?
No, you can't sit here.
Thanks.
This is a little uncomfortable after what happened yesterday, and I think she feels it too. Have you tried talking to Kaori yet?
No. I figured it would be best to give her some space. I haven't seen her that upset since...
She hesitates. Since Ryota? May blinks but seems relieved.
Oh, Kaori told you about Ryota?
Sort of. Not about to tell her I was listening to their conversation from a few days ago.
Did she say it was all my fault?
It was certainly implied. My size.
I wish I'd never said anything.
I blink. May doesn't strike me as someone who has many regrets. She's always cheerful, seems to take whatever life throws at her in her stride. I believe that you meant well.
Thanks. If only Kaori could see that. I wasn't trying to ruin her friendship with Ryota, or my friendship with her. They would have been so cute together. You know, if Ryota hadn't been such a jerk. And how awesome would it have been if my two friends ended up together?
You've always got to be careful with that, because if it goes wrong, it can really bugger up a good friendship. Sounds like you were excited for her.
I was! Even back then, Kaori was more reserved around people. She didn't like to show her feelings. So I was so excited when she told me she liked Ryota.
If he was such a jerk, then why were you friends with him?
He wasn't always like that. Honestly, I don't know why he exploded the way he did. We used to do everything together. His family even took us on their vacations. I knew him back in elementary school when he still had huge glasses and would tell goofy jokes that were too smart to be funny. Kids used to pick on him a lot. So we entered middle school and he worked hard to change his image.
Never change your image just to be popular.
He lost the glasses and became more serious. The more I think about it, the more I think he stuck with us out of obligation, rather than true feeling. We were his only friends for a long time, until he hit his growth spurt. Then all the girls were suddenly interested.
Mai looks thoughtful.
Actually, I think it was when the other girls started to notice him that Kaori liked him too.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
Of course not.
She hits the table for emphasis.
I told him all that stuff in confidence, thinking maybe it would give him a push to make a move. Well, he made a move, all right. He went out of his way to hurt Kaori. What kind of friend is that? That's not a person I want to associate with.
Yeah, that is a dick.
It's just frustrating that Kaori would lump me into the same category as him.
Explains a lot. Thank you, May.
Huh? For what?
Finally understand why Kaori acts so... Kaori-like. May's eyes widen.
You think I turned her into that?
Makes sense. She's withdrawn, quick to make judgments, stubborn. May laughs.
She's sort of always been like that. I think. She's always been stubborn, at least.
It's been so long. Why do you still try so hard with her? May looks at me as if I've just sprouted a third arm.
She's my friend.
Good reason.
I left her alone for a while so she could cool off. And I admit, I was angry at her for a long time too. But then I saw her withdraw completely. No one should be alone. I know she hasn't forgiven me yet, but she will.
How can you be so sure?
It might take her a little longer, but in the end, Kaori always sees reason.
May's completely confident that Kaori will forgive her. Must be how she can still act so familiar with her, even though Kaori doesn't reciprocate those feelings. I have to admit, I actually kind of admire May for that.
Anyway, since I really didn't get the chance to say it yesterday, congrats on your win.
I blink. Oh, thanks.
But don't get used to it. Ana Bugeisha has a lot of practicing to do. It won't be that easy the next time we battle.
Yeah, it was a good fight. The next match we have is half as good as that one we just had. I'll be satisfied. May grins.
Don't worry. Us girls won't be going down easy.
From the corner of my eye, I spot Kaori and Sho enter the pilot's lounge. Sho's still alive, and in one piece, so they must have worked things out with each other. That's a relief. Kaori searches the room and briefly makes eye contact with me, before glancing away. And then to my surprise, she walks over to us and Sho follows. May is just as surprised when Kaori and Sho sit with us.
What's going on, Broseph?
Nothing much. Where's Mayu?
Class.
I look over at Kaori. Hey, Kaori.
Hi.
She looks sideways at May.
Hi, May.
May doesn't react right away, and then squeals in delight and throws her arms around Kaori.
Hi! May! Stop it!
Kaori pulls away in a huff while May laughs. The four of us continue to chat together, and the tensions that we felt yesterday are completely gone. It's as if the day never happened. May even got Kaori to laugh. Eventually, we all have to go our separate ways as everyone heads to their classes or other obligations, and I still have some free time. Got to spend it with Mayu. I receive an incoming call from Mayu. Hey, Mayu.
Hi! I hope you don't think this is weird, but would you want to go to the comic book store with me?
Is there one on campus?
No, it's in town. My next class was cancelled, so I'm done for the day. Do you have class?
No, I'm done too. She seems relieved.
Great! I pre-ordered the new series of Boundless Stratus, and it's ready for pickup. I don't like going alone because the guys there,
Comic book nerds, gotcha.
a bit overbearing. They're always trying to chat, and they keep asking me to play games and stuff. But it feels weird. Show's not into comics, and he also thinks I'm overreacting. I would just feel more comfortable having you there with me.
Not a problem. Sure, I'll go with you. How will we plan to get there?
By bus.
I can drive us.
Are you sure? I don't want to be any trouble.
It's no trouble. How about I meet you at your dorm and we can go together?
Okay, see you soon.
We hang up and I head over to her dorm. After I pick her up, I drive us to the comic store in town. When we arrive, Mayu hesitates before she hops off my bike. You okay?
Yeah.
She takes a deep breath and then gives me a nod, and I follow her into the store. As soon as we walk in, my mouth falls open, I gape in wonder. Every staff member of the store is beyond attractive. Is that a prerequisite to working here? As I continue to look around, the patrons are all on the same level as the staff. Women have beautiful smiles and shapely curves that turn into legs that go on for days, and they smile at me as we walk past. The men are all tall with broad shoulders, and I can see faint outlines of muscles underneath their shirts. I am not in bad shape, but I still feel out of place. Wish I'd spent some more time on my training. What is this place? Mayu doesn't even pause and heads straight to the counter, and when we walk past, the staff members greet us, but Mayu keeps her head down and refuses to make eye contact. As we approach the counter, an equally attractive and friendly man greets us.
Good to see you again, Mayu. Is there anything I can help you with?
Hi. I got an email saying my pre-order for Boundless Stratus has arrived.
I don't think we had any copies yet, but I'll double check in the back stockroom for you. In the meantime, you and your friend should have a look around.
After flashing a handsome smile, he heads to the back room.
Do you want to take a look at their manga?
Yeah, sounds good. Mayu leads me through the section and I browse the titles. You're a big manga fan.
I read some.
A title catches my eye and I enthusiastically grab the book off the shelf. Hey, I remember this. Did you ever read this one? I hold the book out to Mayu while she examines the cover. She furrows her brows and slowly shakes her head.
No.
Really? Super popular when we were in middle school. Well, at least it was in the States.
What's it about?
The main character in this family had to return home to take care of a sick grandfather, who passes on a protective charm for the main character. And at his first day at his new high school, he gets into a fight and accidentally activates the charm, which turns out to be a cat spirit demon girl. Once activated, this cat girl swears to protect the main character and disguises herself as another student at his school. And this causes all sorts of hilarious scenarios between her and the other girls in his class.
That doesn't sound very familiar.
I shrug. It's really silly, but it was fun at the time.
Which character was your favorite?
What can I say? I'm boring. I like the girl's always nice and polite. Always trying to help because she's very caring.
You're right. She does sound nice.
Anyway, can't believe they still have it. I put the book back on the shelf. So what else do you read besides Boundless Stratus?
Oh! I like Evangelion! And Gundam too!
I'm beginning to see a trend here. She blinks.
What do you mean?
Well, all of the mangas you mentioned have giant robot battles. Mayu's chinks. Chinks? Blah. Mayu's cheeks tinge pink. There we go. That sentence does make sense, I promise.
I mean, I do come from a long line of pilots. It's only natural that I gravitate towards those type of manga too.
How long have we had giant robots in this world? Seriously. You haven't read any other types?
No. Father wasn't very fond of manga to begin with. The only reason he let me read the ones I did was because they were sort of relevant to my studies.
Her voice lowers to a mumble.
And because he didn't know about most of them.
Ah, hidden stuff under the bed. Gotcha. She stares at the ground and shuffles her feet when she catches my grin. Who knew Mayu had a rebellious side? Let's find a manga that you'd like then. That's not gear related.
Okay.
As we both peruse the shelves, one of the gorgeous men nearby politely greets us.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but overhear you're looking for a new manga. My sister just finished this one, and she loved it.
He hands Mayu a book with a girl and a flute.
Maybe you'd like it.
Mayu shifts from one foot to the other. Thanks, man. That's really nice of you.
Thanks.
No problem.
Another man
I
interjects.
highly recommend that one too. Although there are some parts later on that deal with some heavy subjects.
Are you implying it turns into smut at the end?
That's true.
If you want something more lighthearted, you might want to check out that author's second title.
A third man joins in the conversation.
Oh, I've read that one. You're talking about The Boy and Alien Pet, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
That one is really funny. The two of them get into all sorts of shenanigans.
Huh, I'll have to check that out too.
Mayu stares helplessly at the crowd surrounding her as they continue to chat. I gently pull her aside and point to the book still clutched tightly in her hand. So, what do you think? She takes a deep breath to relax and then scans the synopsis.
It's about a girl who lands her dream role as the solo flutist in a symphony. But when her mother gets sick, she has to decide between her family and her passion. Actually, I think this would be very interesting.
I grin. Mission accomplished. The man who originally suggested the title notices Mayu's interest in the book.
I hope you enjoy it.
Thanks.
We part from the group who are still deep in discussion. Mayu breathes a sigh of relief.
I'm glad you came with me. Didn't you see what happened back there? That happens all the time.
Show's right, you're overreacting. So that's what she meant by being overbearing? Seemed like really cool guys to me. At least you got a new book out of it. She smiles at the title in her hand.
True.
After selecting a couple of titles for myself, I glance at Mayu. Let's go check on your pre-order. She nods happily. We head to the counter where the clerk is waiting for us.
Here is your pre-order.
Thanks.
I place the books I picked up on the counter and hand over my card. I'd like to check these out, please.
Oh yeah.
I think she'd forgotten about the manga in her hand. She puts it on the counter. I pay for my purchase and Mayu pays for her manga. And as we head towards the door, Mayu bumps into someone.
I'm sorry.
She looks up in surprise.
May.
Hi, guys.
I didn't know you like to read manga.
Oh, yeah. It's a secret pleasure of mine.
Really?
May grins appreciatively as one of the men walks past. So that's what she means by secret pleasure. At least I'm not the only one who sees it. Mayu furrows her brow.
View? It's inside a mall plaza.
May raises an eyebrow. I understand her look all too well. How is Mayu not seeing this?
Anyway, I've got some things to check out, so I'll see you later.
She heads deeper into the shop while Mayu and I walk outside. Ready to head back? She nods. We hop on my bike and I drive us back up to campus.
Thanks for taking me to the comic book store.
Thanks for introducing it to me. Now I know where I need to go to catch up on my series. She smiles.
I'm really happy you like to read manga too. Sho doesn't really care for it.
You'd think I'd like it more. You'd think he'd like it more since there are pictures. Mayu giggles.
Be nice. Anyway, Father will be here soon, and I still have to clean.
One problem I always have with things like this is they refer to manga as if it's one thing. You know, there are an awful lot of subgenres. You know, it's like saying, I didn't know you like to read books. You know, let's go to the bookstore and buy some books. Yes, technically true, but, you know, let's face it, there are specific sections I like. Let's face it, I popped into town yesterday, ended up coming back with a doorstop, which is 763 pages long. You know, so that sounds promising. But of course I did what I always do, I just made a beeline to the sci-fi and fantasy section. It's a Warhammer book, incidentally. It's the Grey Knight Omnibus by Ben Counter. Because I've been thinking about, you know, I find the Grey Knights very interesting, as you might be able to tell from the vlog I made, so I figured, what the hey, let's give the Omnibus a read. Anyway. By clean, do you mean hide your new books? She blushes.
It would be best if you didn't know. Anyway, I'll see you later.
I wave goodbye and watch her disappear into her dorm. My phone rings unexpectedly. It's Valerie. Hello?
I've got a surprise for you. Come to the hangar.
What is... She hung up. Of course she hung up. I guess I better see what's going on. Something to do with the core, I presume? After I swipe myself into the hangar, I make a beeline for Eagle. Valerie's perched in front of my terminal, but jumps up when she sees me, and she moves from the terminal, gestures for me to sit.
Voila!
I stare at the scrolling code on the screen. She's got to stop acting like I can read this stuff. What is it?
It's a manual documentation. It needs to be cleaned up before it can be fully understood, though.
So, you called me over to show me something that isn't complete. Valerie crosses her arms.
I thought you'd be able to appreciate the magnitude of this discovery.
I am not trying to downplay the importance of this.
Besides, my script is parsing it as we speak. It'll be done in a few minutes.
We wait patiently for her program to finish running. I watch as she keeps her eyes on her script. She's confident in her program, but keeps glancing at it, exposing the eagerness beneath her calm demeanor. I can't help but wonder, how did you get into engineering?
Girls can't be engineers.
That's not what I said. Valerie laughs.
It's like a puzzle.
What?
Taking things apart and putting it back together. Finding new ways to piece everything together to make it a better product. The possibilities are endless, even if we can't see all the solutions just yet.
And you just discovered that by accident. She shrugs and becomes strangely aloof.
Things broke around the house a lot. If I didn't fix it, then it would be broken forever.
So why not just buy a new one?
It always worked fine once fixed. Why spend that extra money?
But why did you have to fix it? Why not your parents? She frowns in disdain.
My mom couldn't be bothered with things like that. If the computer broke, she'd pretend the problem didn't exist until she needed to use it. Then she'd go and buy a new one because she needed to use it immediately. Money was always tight, and that's why I started trying to fix things.
Yeah, it's a terrible attitude to take.
The first thing I ever properly fixed was my bike. I was 15, and my neighbor at the time was a young woman at university. She helped me fix it, and when she learned I was interested in this stuff, she gave me a bunch of how-to books for my birthday.
Guess I was lucky my dad was pretty handy. He taught me how to take care of my things. Valerie grins playfully.
Could have fooled me. Eagle's always a little worse for wear by the time he gets to me. Isn't that right, Eagle?
She coos affectionately at my gear. It's not a puppy. A sharp beep interrupts our conversation. Valerie whips back towards the screen.
It's done.
Valerie and I both lean to get a better look at the screen. I turn my head to ask her a question when her hair brushes against my cheek. Soft, smells like flowers. I hadn't realised how close we were until now. But Valerie's too focused on the screen to notice. The slender fingers dance across the keyboard.
Oh, this makes a lot of sense.
What makes a lot of sense?
Why your core only activated that one time? The function of the core was set to debug mode with a single run instance.
English, please.
The overdrive mode was meant to be used for testing purposes, so it was set to only activate once.
So what does that mean?
It means if we can figure out how to change this setting and find out the parameters of activation, you could use the overdrive mode on demand.
My eyes widen as I consider the possibilities. Are you serious?
Yeah! In theory, anyway.
She squints at the code.
That's not even the best part. Here are blueprints with algorithms and formulas.
What do they say? Incidentally, the correct plural is formulae, not formulas. Valerie puts a finger to her lip.
It seems to be incomplete, but we might be able to use this and a bit of reverse engineering to fill in the gaps. If we can figure this out, we can understand the details of the core.
Good stuff. You're kind of amazing. She grins.
About time you noticed.
So why did Dad include the function with my core? And why didn't he tell me? I have so many questions, too few answers. Let's keep this a
A
secret.
secret?
Yeah, no point getting the team's hopes up when we don't even know if it'll work. Plus, I don't need anyone doing snooping around on my gear. I look pointedly at Valerie, and she smiles innocently.
What? That's what brought us together. Are you saying you wished you never met me?
Of course not, but one Valerie is more than enough. She smirks.
Don't I feel special?
Valerie gets to work, and I watch her for a while. She's working too fast for me to comprehend what she's doing, and I don't want to interrupt the groove to explain it to me. After a few minutes, she glances back at me.
You really do like to watch, don't you?
Huh?
First it was Sho and Mayu at the beach, now me.
I didn't watch them. Her eyes sparkle.
So you just like watching me then? Too bad this isn't that interesting.
After saying goodbye, I leave her to do her thing. Right, that's an excellent point to end this part, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next.